If you like to talk Drag Race, you've come to the right place. Hola, hola, hola. It's your host, Mark J Freeman and Ollie Drennan.
Hola, buenos dias.
I took 5 years of French, so until Drag Race Paris starts, I'm pretty screwed.
It's okay. I don't speak Spanish and I am Mexican, so...
Okay, now I don't feel as bad. All right, you guys, be sure to follow us on the social medias, DRTVLA, and also on Twitch. We go live on Twitch now, along with YouTube, so you can watch us on either. Ollie, 3 episodes into Drag Race España. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts overall so far?
I am absolutely in love with it. I mean, it's clearly just miles. It's one of the best Drag Race. I'm just going to say Drag Race seasons in general. I know it's a spinoff, but one of the best seasons that I've seen in a long time. I don't know about you, but it really just feels fresh. It doesn't see they got their budget together. These girls are getting a prize. The judges are great. We'll talk more about them. The cast is great. It's just phenomenal, and I'm really enjoying it, especially after having to go through Down Under, which, if you're no stranger to our Down Under reviews, things took a turn for the worse, for sure. They've gone down under for sure. But I'm clearly enjoying this initial season of España.
I could not agree more. We said before we started this, before we went live, how we're excited to finally say nice things. I feel like people think we come on here to complain, but we really, again, we say this all the time. We want it to be good. Mm-hmm. We want to watch a great Drag Race season. That's all we all want, We want it to be fair. We want it to be, just, you know what I mean? We don't want it to see that production, all that stuff. And this is just, one of the things I think I like the most about it is it has its own energy. It's like they seem so happy to be doing this show. Every single one of them. When they were walking in the workroom, when Supreme Deluxe, who is the host of the show, she's the RuPaul of España, even just the way she presents herself, the judges seem so happy to be there. They seem to be even when they give bad and sometimes misleading critiques, in my opinion, because there are still a few things in there that are, questionable, but they just seem so happy to be there and so happy to do it. So it's rubbing off on me. I'm loving it. I'm loving all the queens, even the queens that have gone. There's one queen, we'll get into it, who I'm not a fan of, but and yes, she's still on. But yeah, so I'm excited to do this. I'm really excited to do this. And then you guys too, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. I think it's in that corner. Our logo down in the bottom there. Subscribe to the channel. Please like and share. It really, truly does help if you tweet this out or share it on your Facebook pages. It really, really, truly does help us. Chucky Chuck says, don't give them any ideas, Mark, about a Paris.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, I said I think it's just a matter of time for Paris or France. I guess it's going to be France. I would guess. Maybe it's a great season so far because there's no Rue or Michelle. That could that is debatable. I guess we can debate that. I do think it says something. Maybe they can learn this from Down Under because, like you were saying, our Down Under recaps have just been like, I'm like, I don't even want to put on my mug to do it anymore. I think it says something that the people from the country are judging those queens. It's so different for me to come in. And even this, I think as we're doing this, because we don't have our Magenta Fox, of España, somebody that can kind of explain stuff to us, we'll probably be judging things, that we just don't really know. We don't understand the culture. We don't understand the things that they do and say and their drag. So, and I'm sure we'll make some mistakes, but I do think that is something to be said that they have their own thing. So we're going to go episode by episode. Last time we did, when we did UK season 2, I did them like I kind of jumbled everything together. I'm going to do episode by episode because I think each one kind of spoke for itself, and I think each one deserved its own attention. So Ollie's episode 1, the premiere, overall thoughts. How would you rate this? I mean, you kind of said this already. How would you rate it as premieres go?
Instantly hooked for sure. It's almost like I'm like, damn, now that 13, Drag Race doesn't really, the normal seasons aren't eliminated on the first episode. So I'm like, I don't want anyone to go home in this first episode. And it's been, I don't know, it's a good feeling to finally feel that when like you have this cast of queens who you just all have like you just love and you don't want to see any of them go home. I know you probably want one of them to go home, but for sure.
I do.
But yeah, it's like, God damn it. And we have our favorites. So I just thought it was a really great premiere and I didn't want it to end. Like, no, don't go home yet. It's also a design challenge too. So it's like, why can't you do that episode 2? Because they don't get to show what they've either made themselves or bought, so, but regardless, enjoyed it.
Well, I think for the premiere, I guess this is because it seems to be the case for the premiere, it's going to be some sort of make something out of nothing kind of thing. So I do feel like your opportunity is the entrance to do something when you walk into the workroom. So I'm setting myself up for my next part is, Ollie, of the people coming into the workroom, we're not going to go through everybody's looks, but who stood out to you? Whose look did you like? And whose look were you like, no? And hello, Rex Trek is joining us. Hello, Rex Trek. Thank you for joining us live. Go ahead. Who were your likes and dislikes on the entrance looks?
First, I just want to say they all brought it. Well, okay, some of them didn't, but like for the most part, I really liked a lot of their entrance looks. Like Arancha is real quick, not my favorite, but you already got who she was, her brand, her Hannah Montana. Like, yes, got it. I loved Hugo Seo's beautiful, gorgeous, literally walking art.
Yep.
Inti's fashion queen.
Yeah.
Love that. It was honorable mention to Macarena. I love that campy. She looked like she just came from a quinceañera. Like with the pork rinds. So those were some of my standouts. And who I didn't like, I'm pretty sure we had the same person who entrance look wasn't on par with the rest of the rest of it was costume. And if you want to take it away, I think
Poopy, which is appropriate name for her. Poopy.
Sorry,
I can't with Poopy, and this is gonna be from my end, it's gonna be Poopy bashing, Carmen praising. That's all you're gonna get from me. I'm just warning you now, it's gonna be an hour of me complaining about Poopy and talking about how I can't wait for Carmen to move to Los Angeles and be my lover.
Manifest it.
And you have. We'll talk about yours later. Ollie has a new love from España as well, so we'll get into that one in a little bit. So yeah, Poopy's was no. of the end, like if I'm judging it like on fashion, on who walked in, I agree with you with Arancha. You got immediately who she was. I would say Killer Queen, I actually really liked too, because she kind of tied in her drag with her real profession. She's a doctor in real life, in non-drag, in her non-drag world. And I mean, you have to give props to Drag Volcano. I'm sorry. Like, even if you don't want to see that every episode, I mean, just to walk in, look like on those platform shoes, like, kudos, girl. Kudos to you for that, you know? Yeah, those were kind of my standouts.
It's hard. Majority of them brought it, you know? I'm like, good God. If this is like the first entrance, like I'm ready for the rest of the season and what they're going to bring, you know?
Yeah. I would say you guys, if you're in, let's say we see what these guys in the chat are saying. Rex Trek loves Hugo. He remembers Carmen. I do not like her attitude. Poopy, yeah. Oh, Chucky Chuck likes Poopy. Good, Chucky Chuck. You can have her. You can go to her shows. Her makeup is harsh. I know, the heels. I'm assuming you're talking about Drag Volcano's heels. Are pretty, they're crazy. So out of drag, Ollie, who do you think had the biggest out of drag transformation? Because everybody loves seeing everybody as a boy finally. Who was for you like, oh wow, not what I was expecting?
Honestly, I would say Dovima. Probably for me looks so different. She goes from the boy in a Hot Topic to like, what's her name? Oh my God, Burlesque Girl. Oh my God, I love her. Not her, Betty Davis. Who am I thinking of? She dated Marilyn Manson. Oh my God, anyways.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, is that the same person? But yeah, she's definitely I think she's really cute too. As a boy. I'm just like, you're very cute.
Yeah. I think Dovima, I would agree, Dovima. I actually, Drag Volcano surprised me out of drag. I kind of was like, oh, they all seem to be surprised by Arancha out of drag.
Like, she kind of looks like the same though.
Yeah,
I love her.
I agree.
And I love her so much.
I agree.
You
know, and I think did I write it down on here? Yes, I did write it down. When she comes in, she says, "You'll live much longer if you keep smiling." She just has such a great that's drag to me. Like I go to the show because I know she's going to make me smile. She's going to forget my day. She's not worrying about doing death drops and wearing the best fashion. It's just about having fun, playing this character. Like Dita Von Teese, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, thank you, the Canuck.
The Canuck.
Thank you. I love her, and I can't believe I forgot her name. Anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, I those were my
and that's why I think she's just a queen that you want to automatically root for. Like you get her. I want to see an Arancha show so bad one day.
Oh, totally. Me too. I would be first in line for that. So Rex Trek says Arancha reminds him of Carol Channing. Carol Wayne. I don't know who Carol Wayne is.
That's what Hannah Montana becomes later on in life. Carol Channing, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know who Carol Wayne is, Rex Trek. So, all right. So some odds and ends about the episode is Dovima and Sagittarius, we find out, were roommates. They had a falling out over a guy, supposedly. I also liked that they were like, well, we'll tell you what happened at the finale.
I know. They're like, we got to both stay in this competition. Yeah. They're not dumb. I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, damn, I want to know that story too as a viewer. So it was smart.
I have a feeling we'll get a little bit more. I have a feeling. We'll see. You know, there was a moment too in episode 1, and I don't know if you caught this, Ollie, because it happened really kind of quick in her confessional. Dovima says in episode 1 that she doesn't feel like she belongs there. Mm-hmm. And then she also later says that she's not portraying the image that she had planned on portraying. So again, you know, we've talked about this before. I think a lot of them go in expecting like, I'm going to be the villain. I'm going to be the this. I'm going to be the that. I think what I was saying earlier, I think this camaraderie and energy of the show that they are clearly that's happening on the set has even changed Dovima to not being this tough, you know, bad girl. You know, she has said some of the nicest and kindest things over the first 3 episodes. Like just shocking me. Like just like, wow, like I wasn't expecting you to be the one to be that person that steps up and says that. So interesting. I wonder how do you remember her saying that about
I do.
not belonging?
I do. And then I remember they had an Untucked. I forget the episode. They had an Untucked moment where you said exactly what you just said. They were like, or she said it herself. Like, I was supposed to be the bitch, but you're all making me love you. Like,
yeah.
So
I think then she was talking to Inti.
Yeah. So it just goes to show just to be yourself. You don't have to portray that image that people think that you're supposed to be just because you are this like Dita Von Teese, like super sexy, like villainous, burlesque person that maybe that's what she was trying to go for, this archetype, when it's just like, girl, no, you're exactly.
Because now I like her and I appreciate her drag more because I know her. You know, there's always, when you have that connection to people and you know, it's more than just a look or a song that they do. You know, that's where the connections lie. And I'm so glad Dovima is allowing herself to open up and not try to keep playing that role. Because we've seen other queens on other seasons who just stick to that role and they are just like, you know, and then maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should go back and retract and blah, 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 whatever. Just a couple little fun fact things that I Googled about the things that were something that was mentioned is Maria Isabel. They all kind of talked about this Maria Isabel because they said that Maria Isabel shoes, they used to watch Maria Isabel on TV. So it turns out that she's a Spanish singer, songwriter, and actress, best known for winning the Junior Eurovision Song Contest in 2004. So that's who Maria Isabel is. I'm assuming that's who they're referring to in the in those conversations. It seemed to make sense to me. Also, another fun fact that I not that I'm stalking Carmen by any means.
No, never.
But according to fandom, she has never seen any season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's wild.
Right?
That's so wild.
I thought that's why I put it in there, because I was like, wow, that's actually really interesting that she's obviously have heard of it. I wonder how long she's been doing drag. I didn't look on there to see how long she's been doing drag, because if she hasn't been doing it that long, though, if you get really caught up in it, I mean, you know, you may not have time to sit down and watch all the incarnations.
I think I respect her more for that, because then that automatically is like, oh, so you're not just doing drag because it's popular. You're doing drag because you love it. But also, like, I'm like, girl, you should probably just like watch a couple episodes so you know what you're in for at the same time, you know?
But that being said, she's killing it.
Right.
And she's so not, you know, when we did the first looks video, so we were basing all this off of a look. I actually said I thought she might be trans because the way her shirt was cut, it looked like she had actual breasts. Clearly she's not. I don't know if that was a breastplate that she's wearing or something to make it look that way, or maybe they photoshopped it. I don't know. Because I did go back and look and I was like, well, what was I seeing then in this picture? But you know, I really truly had this impression that she was just going to be I'm going to be this fishy queen, like no personality and just like a pretty face, and which we've seen 1,000 times. And I mean, she's one that is just like such a standout to me, like blowing my mind with like, I mean, the fact that she's so emotional and that she, you know, she just seems, you can tell that she's listening to people in the workroom. There's something, we'll get into some of the stuff that she said, but I just thought I'd mention that because I thought it was an interesting fact. All right, so get into the mini challenge of episode 1 is the riding the mechanical bull photo shoot. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised they haven't done it on regular Drag Race.
I know, right? But it worked out. I was a little scared though, to be honest. I'm like, oh god, like drag Volcano with the big platform shoes. I'm like, how are they gonna do that? Killer Queen. Yeah. Like, I don't want their drag to get screwed up. Yeah, I was nervous.
Was there anyone?
It was
anyone
good
that
though.
Stood out to you from that?
I really thought Carmen did a great job. Not only did she do a great job, she was like falling, but like her balls were coming out, her huevos, you know, like it was really fun. And she got the photo. She got the photo as long as you got the shot. But it was so good. It was such a good little mini challenge.
I love one that popped into my head when I was writing it was Inti, when she just like literally just like boop, jumped right on it, like didn't hesitate, didn't like, it was like she's been doing this her whole life, and I was just like, you go, girl.
You know, some of us have rode a few bulls in our day, so good for her. Pro, take it like a champ.
Take it like a champ. The spinning disc where they shot paint. Yes, Drag Race USA did the spinning disc where they shot paint at them, which is actually from that's actually from a runway. I found this out when I was watching a documentary. That's actually, somebody did that in a fashion show. I don't know if it was Alexander McQueen. They had these robots that came up and they had the finale girl come out in a white dress and they sprayed the dress, and that was the finale of the runway, which I never knew.
Was it turning though?
I think the robots were turning, and then she was standing. So I think she was able to move and like kind of move in them. Like she wasn't on a turntable, but I think that Drag Race did it just for the fun. Which I thought was an interesting, because I had no idea that was a thing. Anyways, back to España. So you had mentioned Carmen. Yes, Carmen won the challenge for the mini challenge for the riding the bull. And I think we both agree. I think she deserved to win. I thought Sagittaria took a good picture too. When they showed Sagittaria's picture, I thought, oh, that might be the winner. They may be who got it, but then Carmen ended up getting it. The maxi challenge for episode 1, we mentioned this earlier, is the design challenge to make a runway look out of rummage sale items. Carmen got to choose first because she won the mini challenge, so she got to just walk up and look at the items and pick what she wanted, and then the rest of them had to like charge the rummage sale and steal the box that they wanted. All right, so we're getting ready because now we're just talking about the runways. We're only going to talk about the tops and bottoms for each runway, just so you guys know. We're not going to pull up everybody, but I do have photos for all of these. But first, Ollie will be very excited at this point of the show to discuss the judges who are judging this season of España. It is Anna Locking, 2020 National Fashion winner, and Javier Ambrosi and Javier Calvo, who are the creators of La Veneno. Am I saying it right?
La Veneno.
La Veneno.
So good. Such a good show.
Ollie, what do you think of the judges?
I love the judges. First and foremost, to be serious, I think they're great additions. I love their critiques. For the most part, they're not mean. Like, you know, like sometimes our season of US drag could be like really mean. Even Down Under, they're just so respectful, regardless of if it's a bad thing. They say it the way they say it. They're not disrespectful with how they critique, regardless of whether you agree with their critiques. Mm-hmm. And I also am. I just love Javier.
Which Javier? There's two Javiers.
Calvo. I think he's so dreamy, and every time like he is judging, I kind of am like forgetting I'm watching the show and I'm pretending I'm there. So he's my Carmen for the show.
Ollie, when Javier and Daniel, as I will refer to Carmen as, when they're in LA, we can double date.
Okay. Well, I like this idea. Name the time, the place.
Name the time, name the place. Attention, Daniel Mora Rojas and Javier Calvo. Well, Javier, when you break up with your Javier, Ollie's ready. I don't know. Daniel may have a boyfriend too. I don't know. But we're, my philosophy in life, Ollie, I don't know if I've ever told you this. If you can't find a boyfriend, take someone else's. So that...
My philosophy is sometimes sharing is caring. You know?
That's right. That's a very good point, Ollie. All right, you guys. So those are the permanent judges, along with Supreme Deluxe. So, Ollie, what do you think of Supreme Deluxe as the roux of the season? Any overall thoughts on her so far?
I really do love her. I think she is just she's also another one who's just so excited to be there, and she seems like such an advocate for her cast, her judges. We'll talk about more later what happens like episode 3. Yeah, like she just seems like she's like the driving force of like the energy that I think which a host has to have that positivity, to have that upbeat that makes you want to come back every single week to watch this show. And I think she's doing an amazing job. I've enjoyed her looks. I'm like, Rue, you got to step it up because she's coming for your gig, literally. Like she is killing it with some of these runways. And I love her just coming in. She's also just so professional. Did I already say that? Like
no,
when she's in the workroom, she's just like, damn, she's a great host. So good. So I'm a huge fan of her.
Yeah. Well, you can tell that she's been doing this for a long time. I had to Google her when they first mentioned that she was the host because I didn't know, obviously I didn't know who she was, but she is very big. She's like Rue, actor, singer, performer. She's done it all. She's been very big there. So
Rue's a recording artist. Remember? No.
Right. On episode 1, they had a guest judge, John. Hold on, Cutarajena. I think is how he said it. I don't know. He's an actor and model, very attractive man. I also kind of like, Ollie, tell me if I'm wrong, I kind of like that Supreme has longer interactions with the judges when she's on the runway. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed that?
It makes you get to know the judges more, and also her as well when the queens aren't there, because obviously we watch for the queens, but it's also nice to get in touch with your judges because they're the ones, they're driving force to who goes home, so it's a nice kind of like to give them a little bit more spotlight and attention, because I don't want to bash on Down Under sometimes, but I don't know who like Reese is really. He's a funny guy, but it's nice to kind of give more attention to these judges. And sorry, Reese didn't get a whole lot of time. Like, okay, we won't talk about Down Under, but like,
save it for Monday. We can get all of our angst out on Monday when we have to do the finale. All right. So again, category is for the runway, rummage sale couture is what I called it. That's not what they called it, but that's what I'm calling it. So these are just the tops and the bottoms. So I'll go through them. There's 6 of them, so I'll go through them one at a time. First up, Ollie, is Ugaseo, who I actually really am enjoying on the show. Overall thoughts, here you go.
I think they did such a great job of incorporating not only the materials, but also just like their drag aesthetic. Like that's literally something I think they would just make on their own. And I thought it was the best. Yeah. Arguably, because Carmen was also so good, but like I really thought this was a deserved win for the week.
Yeah. Oh,
So good.
completely.
So good.
Completely. And I think, you know, it's so funny, and I hate to say this. I know we keep comparing this to other seasons and stuff. Um, I think on a regular season, I don't think she would have won. I think Carmen would have won.
Mm.
I just, you know, you can tell that they appreciate what Ugaseo does, and that she's not like Carmen. She's not like the other one. She's very unique, and they're giving her credit where credit is due. And she did,
Mhm.
I think, and as much as I adore Carmen, I was so glad they gave it to her. Because that's what I kept thinking. I'm like, well, they're going to give it to Carmen because she's the pretty
Mhm.
girl, and the pretty girl always wins. So I was thrilled that she won
Yeah.
the.
And she also sold it too with the emotion, the crying, and the mop of like kind
Yeah,
of mopping up the tears. And Anna, the judge, loved it. And I love that they
yeah.
actually have like her, who is like a fashion winner expert on the panel to
Mm-hmm.
help kind of like incorporate more of like the fashion along with the art, you know. So I think as long as you have that combination, like it makes for a great judging. And I agree, like it was great, 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 and so deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Next up is Sagittaria. Ollie, what did you think of Sagittaria's look?
I liked it. I think
Mm-hmm.
it came out really good. You know, I love like I think she got like like a ball pit or something. And the way
Yeah.
she incorporated it, she almost made it look a little bit iridescent. Like some of the balls weren't fully painted. And so
Yeah.
it created like this weird, like iridescent look. I don't know if you noticed it, but
I
I
totally
really
did.
liked it. I also just love that type of wig style. Like it just was fun to look at. And I didn't think she was going to do well in this challenge, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
I love the
I know.
silhouette.
I really liked it. I wasn't as I like that style wig. I agree 1,000% with that. I just thought it looked. I wanted it. I wanted there to be more of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just looked a little throw on and go to me. Um, but at the same time, I was thinking, well, what else? What other hair would you wear with it too? And
Right.
I'm really not. I don't know if I've ever said this on the show, but I'm really not a fan of those kind of shoes either. I don't know if you
This
remember what kind of shoes she's
super
wearing, but just like
platform.
platform with the acrylic bands and
Mm,
open. I don't wear. I really don't wear open toes, or I really try to avoid it at all costs. Because you're wearing pantyhose, so it looks weird to wear pantyhose with an open toe shoe,
mm.
in my opinion. So I'm never a fan of that.
Was she wearing?
Although I don't think she was wearing
Oh,
pantyhose,
okay.
but
I see
that's
what you're
usually
saying, though.
yeah, yeah. Both of them were in the top, by the way. So next up is the Macarena. Let me grab her photo. Ollie, what did you think of the Macarena's runway?
um, honestly, obviously it was in the bottom, but I think there was someone worse than her that should have been in her place, or at least in the bottom as well.
Oh, was it
Wait.
somebody that was already in the
Oh,
bottom? Oh,
wait. Yes, she was in the bottom. Sorry, I
yeah,
don't know why I thought she wasn't in the bottom, but
but she should have been lip syncing.
yes. Okay. So I will defend her a little bit. Like, I don't think she was the worst, but I think it wasn't as exciting as someone like Hugo Seos or
Yeah,
Sagittarius, because it was very like simple, like very flamenco, something that wasn't as exciting, but at least she was able to incorporate it so it looked like it wasn't like full on the materials. You know what I'm saying? It looked
yeah,
okay, you
yeah,
know? I also really liked her personality too.
yeah,
So, and I felt really bad when she was, you know, spoilers, sent packing.
yeah. Well, you know what I will say, Ollie? I was thinking about again our first impression. I'm so glad we did that first impressions. I need to start doing that. I think I want to start doing those all the time, just because to see how my opinions change from just a look to getting to know them and seeing them, because this was my probably my biggest mistake in the looks video. I might have even said she was going to be first to go home, which obviously we were right about, but I was just not expecting to really like her as much as I do now. Like semi-obsessed with her now. Like just what she does, how we'll talk about it later, how she leaves the show, and just her energy was just it really, and I'm not trying to praise myself by any means, but it really reminded me a lot of myself. Like I felt like we have a very similar idea of why we do this and why we want to do this. And our even the aesthetic, like I could see myself if I was stuck with a box like that of trying to do something with the flamingo and stuff like that. You know, I think because there were a lot of really good ones, you have to nitpick. So she ended up in the bottom. But I was so bummed to see her go when all was said and done. I truly, truly was. So, yeah. All right. Next up, also in the bottom, which at first surprised me, but I don't know. I guess looking back, maybe now, maybe not so much. But Dovima Nurmi. Ollie, what did you think of Dovima's?
You know what? I think it was mostly like when she was coming down the runway, she looked extremely uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And that made me as a viewer be uncomfortable too. Cause I'm like, I'm not saying she didn't look confident. Maybe she felt so confident, but like, it just read like she could barely move in that thing. And it wasn't like, it was interesting. It was like this mermaid. I guess the concept was like a mermaid got in like a fishnet or something. At least that's what I thought. But I think it was just so hard for her to move in. And so, and I always say this, don't wear something down the runway on Drag Race that it's hard to move in because you might be lip syncing. So it wasn't like so I can see why she was in like the bottom. She also kind of just like there was just so much going on too, I think. Yeah. With it.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think at first glance, I loved it. I thought it was very creative. I thought it was very her. But then the more when I rewatched the episode for this, I was like, I mean, I guess because of the walking and the presentation, it kind of does make it kind of wah, 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 you know? Mm-hmm. But there was definitely somebody who deserved.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, did I just set myself up for this? So next up, only person who's been on the runway all 3 episodes, by the way. To get critiqued on the runway each episode is Poopy. I like to call her Shitty.
Oh boy,
Ollie, I'm gonna let you because I think you're going to say it a lot nicer than I will, so I'll let you say it.
This was the worst of the episode for sure. So I was really surprised when she wasn't in the bottom 2. Sorry, spoilers, but like there wasn't a clear concept. She looked like she was like this somewhat character from Candyland going to take a shower, or like not Candyland, it's like Bathroom Land, because she got like a bathroom like box, I think, if I remember correctly, or something along the lines. Yeah. I liked what she did with the sponge shoes. Like she was trying to do some sponge shoes. I thought that would have been cute. It looked really good It looks good from afar. I know I say that a lot. It looks good from far. The shoes, there's just the shoes, but there was no clear concept, and it was kind of like Dovima, where there was just so much going on, and it's not concise or conceptual, like I said. So it was just a mess and a half.
Well, I'm feeling very familiar feelings from season 13, where I just don't want to talk about her because they are going to do enough of it for me. So. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't really want to talk about her. And because I really want to talk about the next person, who is Carmen Farala. Farala? I hope I'm saying it right. I know she gets mad when people pronounce it wrong. Who looked stunning. I mean, just the fact that she made pants on the runway. Hello.
Yeah, and I love seeing pants on the runway. And I was a little worried because I think a lot of the queens aren't sewers. So she was able to pull it off, though. That looks like off the rack, but like in a good way. Like it looks like you can go buy that at freaking wherever. She calls herself like, what is it? She likes Gucci or
Versace.
Versace. Like you can get that from Versace. So it was totally like you could say, like she got her brand within those unconventional materials. And I was like, oh, Carmen might win this. So damn, they both just killed it this week. And I thought she just did. She got the Carmen down with the
Yeah, totally. I agree with all that. Now, I thought this was funny, Ollie. Well, not funny, but the safe queens. So during the runway, when they cut to the safe queens in the back before everybody came off the runway, they all thought the Macarena was going to be in the top. And even on episode 2 at the beginning, Killer Queen says, I'm surprised she went home. I really thought she was going to be in the top. And I don't know if they were all saying that because of, like we were saying, because of her personality, because she's, so fun-loving that they wouldn't possibly send her home. But they were all really surprised about her being in the bottom and going home. I just thought it was interesting to point out. Like as we said, Hugo won the runway challenge. The lip sync was between the Macarena and Dovima Nurmi, which it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
It should have been shitty. And probably the Macarena, unfortunately. But there was thunderous applause after the performance from the judges. Even Supreme said, you made this very difficult for me, which I thought it was. I thought it was actually for a first lip sync. Because I feel like the first lip sync, we always kind of like, no. But I was just I literally for a moment went, oh, maybe they're going to send Dovima home on the first episode. Because I wasn't sure. I really, truly was not sure who was going to go home. So they're also doing this on España where when the lip sync is done, all the judges write a name and pass them down to Supreme. Do you like that?
I don't know because Canada did that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of like, I don't know if it's actually, I'm sure they actually do have like an all say in like, at least I think that's exactly what they do in Canada. Like they all have a say in it. So it's not fully, it makes it feel more like less produced, I guess. I don't know, but it's interesting. It's nice that it's not just like one person's decision or producers or whatever you want to call it, so it feels more of I don't know, like group consensus, and I think that's important. It feels good. It feels better. At least as a viewer.
I'm just curious. I was curious what you thought about it. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent to it too. I'm kind of like, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. Thank you. Gabe's in the chat room now too. Gabe, yes. I don't know if you just joined us or you just spoke up in the chat, but we have been talking about Carmen not just being a beauty, but a fucking talent. I agree 1,000%. I do like the passing name. Oh, was that Chucky Chuck? Yeah. He likes the passing of the name, thinks it shows real judging. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Rue's thing is like, and she says, you're here to give me advice, but ultimately the final decision is mine to make.
She goes silent.
Yeah. And I don't know, I don't know if like, I mean, maybe, I would have to sit down and talk to Rue. Does she really pay a lot of attention to what Michelle and Carson and Ross are telling her? Or does she kind of like, I kind of know who I'm going to pick. I just kind of want to see if they're going to try and argue someone else's case. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to talk to her and find that out. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. The Macarena's exit was not only a class act, but hysterical at the same time.
It was.
I mean, if you haven't, and I'm not going to tell you everything she said. It's not important, but if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Just to see, I just thought that she handled leaving so well. I would love to have her back. I would truly love to have her back. Maybe she'll come join us because she speaks English. Maybe she can come join our panel. I'll have to message her and see if she'll come join us because we are a big fan of the Macarena here.
And she's also she's not afraid to like laugh at herself. And I always love that. Like some people take themselves too seriously. It's kind of like Dovima probably was doing that. So it was just really refreshing. So it's definitely like sad to see her go.
Yeah, totally. And then, and then just to end that out, when Dovima came to hug her and when she won, when Dovima won and was walking off the runway, she came over to hug the Macarena. Macarena says to her, "Don't stop believing in yourself." I just thought, like, again, like what, like she wasn't even thinking about that moment. She was thinking about Dovima earlier in the workroom, being down on herself and, you know, second guessing and questioning whether she should be there and stuff like that. And that's what she was worried about, not going home.
Mm-hmm.
Class act. Round of applause for the Macarena, ladies and gentlemen. Another one I'd be more than happy to pay to go see. And then I don't know, I'm guessing it's because, I don't know if it's the translation, but like, you know, we end all of ours with, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen? España is saying, who cares what I do? Who cares what I say? This is me, and this is how I'm going to be. And then the queens respond, I will never change. And I love it. I love it. You know, another thing I think, Ollie, I don't know if we said this yet, I love that they're making it their own. Like, yes, they've got the aspects of it. Yes, they're doing their own thing. They're, you know, it's got the format of Drag Race, but I truly feel like it's their own show. And I love it. I'm living for it. Living for it. Some mirror moments from the first episode. Macarena talking about her body image and how she, you know, is going to went to a therapist to work on it, and how now, like she said, she's much more confident in being in the workroom, on TV with her shirt off or in her underwear or whatever. Again, important conversations. Glad they're having it. Again, you know, I also feel like there's a lot, you know, when I was doing the mirror moments for this show, there have been so many. In 3 episodes. Like, I truly feel like I know so much about these queens in 3 episodes. All of them. It's not just Poopy. It's not just, you know, Carmen. It's everyone I know a little something about already. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And kudos to the Macarena for sharing that story. Also, I think it was Ugaseo that asked the room who identifies as non-binary. And they had the whole conversation about the trans revolution going on right now, and everybody talked about that. You know, it was funny because when they said trans revolution, in my head, I was like, oh, I've never heard it referred to as that. And I do feel like it does kind of feel like that to me right now, because I feel like there's so many people. And I think a lot of it is, I think it's always been there. I think people just have always kind of kept it quiet kind of thing. Like, I think it's just more, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's more, because when people talk about it more, people are more comfortable with doing it, and they don't live a, you know, quiet, you know, miserable life hiding that side of them. Now they feel much more comfortable in coming out and doing those things and stuff like that. So, again, and this is the first episode. You know, we're still in the first episode. First episode has definitely got more stuff packed into it, I felt like, than the other 2. So hopefully the other 2 we won't take as long. But
I also think, since, real quick, because of that, the trans revolution, like, I also think because, you know, España has had this legendary icon, La Veneno, for so long, for years, like, it's kind of been already established there. I'm obviously not from the country, but, like, at least that's, as an outside viewer, it's kind of like, maybe it has been a little bit more inclusive from where they are, and that's why they're so open, at least, you know. So I think it's amazing and it's great, and that I'm glad that other parts of the world are also being able to express themselves and be their full authentic selves as well.
Yeah.
So,
thank you, Gabe, for for Gabe. Is that what you're gonna say?
No, I'm just gonna, sorry. I'm just so excited about the show. Yeah, that's all.
I am too. I hope you guys are too. And I hope if at least somebody who kind of clicks on this will make them want to go watch it, because I really think I agree with you, Gabe, 100,000%. España is a breath of fresh air we've been needing, completely and totally. Yeah. One last thing for the mirror moments. I just thought, again, another just endearing moment for Carmen when she talked about her parents not buying her dolls. So she made them out of markers. Like she would put yarn on the top of a thing and use that as a doll. Like, just like, I mean, come on. How do you not fall in love with somebody who is going to share that kind of story with you? You know, it's like, it just, I don't know. I've just been having a good time. Oh, also too, Ugaseo and Sagittaria both talk about how their moms stood up for them as queer kids. I think it was Ugaseo said that her mom stopped hanging out with the other moms because they talked so bad about him, or I forget how he identifies, but about Ugaseo. And this, like, I mean, that's so Sagittaria, Ugaseo, the Macarena, Carmen. I mean, 4 of 10 queens already, are in the mirror moment, in one
and
episode.
That's why, and like, I usually am kind of no lie. Like, sometimes I don't like the workroom, like, footage.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we just get to it? But I love it. I'm like, I need more, like, in this hour span. Like, so it's great. It's nice to really enjoy it from like start to finish, the entire episode.
Yeah, I agree. Hello, a disco queen. She's finally joining us. Thank you. We're only on episode 1, so we still have 2 more episodes to go. So you're okay. Stay with us, a disco queen. All right. So my quote of the episode is, "Go ahead and eat me." The Macarena's exit line. I couldn't resist. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best exit lines ever. But yeah. All right. So that was episode 1. We got episode 1. Boom. Done. All right. So episode